A typical day in a British city. A frenzied rush of tourists and workers. A sense of never-ending activity. Sometimes I feel so lucky to be living in the heart of the English countryside. It's a place to escape from the urban commotion and a place to relax and refuel.
And yet, despite this, even if I am miles from the nearest city, it seems like there's never any solitude at all. And that's probably why I go on holiday.
With plane travel today as diverse as it ever has been, the choice of where to retreat to is a stressful one. But there's one place that, like a well-organised picnic camper, can provide the lot. Kos. In this series, join me as I delve deep into a handful of gems that Kos offers. From the balmy beaches to the amazing archaeology, from the volcanoes and the mountains to the traditional Greek villages. Come with me on a journey through one of the most diverse destinations in the Mediterranean. Just south of Turkey lies a group of Greek holiday hotspots called the Dodecanese Islands, and nestled in amongst them is Kos. Kos is the third largest of all the Dodecanese Islands and one of the most green as well, home to some 33,000 people. And well, looking behind me, you can't really blame them, can you? After all, the weather is as good a reason as any for living here. In July and August, daily 30-degree temperatures are almost certain. In the summer, Kos is a riot of colour. Avenues are lined with palm trees, and fig trees provide shade for those who need it. From pomegranates, oaks and cypresses, village gardens are ablaze. The hillsides are planted with vines, and down the alleys, orchards bear a rich harvest of oranges, lemons, olives and figs. But it isn't always a spectrum of colours. Here in Plaka Forest, the scene is very different. It's a great place for a picnic thanks to these sweet-smelling pine trees, and thousands of tourists visit Plaka Forest every single year for the peace and the relaxation. But there's one animal that doesn't just visit, it's made its home here, and that animal? The peacock, and some of the largest peacocks I've ever seen. There's lots of places like this where the stroller can wind down the day, and my next location is no exception. Kathalos is just one of the many traditional villages on the island, set on living by ancient culture and way of life. It's a laid-back resort where fishermen go about their daily life on handcrafted boats, getting a good catch for the nearby tavernas. As recently as 4 decades ago, the island's population were farmers in the interior, but these places have lost their economic importance over the years, and most money now is generated from these coastal resorts. And for places such as my next location, Antimachera, the second largest inland village on Kos, only remnants of that agricultural past are left here today. The sailcloth blades of over 100 windmills were still turning in the 1920s. Today, hardly any are still turning, but all is not lost. The old farmhouse has been converted to a folklore museum, offering a glimpse of life from the Greek Isles in the 1950s. But all is not dead on the island. In fact, the island's capital boasts one of the beautiful locations of any Aegean town. Embedded in lush green, it's situated right on the ocean, with the Dickius mountain range as a backdrop. The core of the town, with its 18,000 residents, is formed by the circular port, used by yachts and fishing boats, pleasure steamers and Coast Guard boats. And just aside from the shoreline promenade is the main town centre, with shopping streets and small squares, mosques and ancient ruins like these. Kos Town is full of natural charm, especially in its tapestry of fine buildings. Any stroll turns into a time travel experience between the classical and the medieval to the contemporary. Next time, join me as I walk on volcanoes and scramble up mountains to some of the most scenic villages in the Mediterranean.